origin of metabolism is presented as a network of chain reaction in a system of molecules formed by thermal motion and intermolecular coupling. The metabolism is to generate a system of molecules and to maintain the life. In this video presents the explanation that metabolism begins from thermal motion of molecule with intermolecular force in water. The molecules in the membrane of soap bubble are arranged by intermolecular force. The organization of molecules achieves a long life by the mechanism that forms a flexible structure of organization. There is an intermolecular force between the iron and carbon dioxide. Iron powder will adhere to the dry ice in the water in the case of fine powder of iron. Iron powder mesh 200 is included in the bottle on the right. The center and the left include the fine powder of iron mesh 300. In case of fine powder, the iron particle will adhere to the dry ice in the water. The intermolecular force is able to provide a discussion on about meteorite LH 84001. According to a report by NASA, ALH 84001 was the record on circumstances of 100 million years after Mars was born, and there may be evidences of existence of life. Polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons PAH are abundant in a portion of the grains of carbonate with orange color. On the other hand, the substance of black border in the particle includes magnetite and pyrrhotite of the compound of iron. The structure of carbonate particle can be formed by intermolecular force. This picture shows that the bubbles of carbon dioxide with iron powder rose up to the surface of the water, and those bubbles adhered to the glass bottle were dried up. There is the experiment on generation of bubbles by adding iron powder to carbonated water. The addition of iron powder in carbonated water generates bubbles, and the chemical reaction proceeds by repeated generation of the bubbles. The phenomena during 33 hours are shown during 13 seconds. Iron powder of 200 mesh changes to brown first. The brown material is the iron oxide that was produced. The iron powder in the bottle of center is a new iron powder than on the left. The oxidation of old iron powder of left bottle takes time more than the new one of the center. It is considered that oxidation of iron is caused by the energy of molecule in the air, because there is membrane on the surface of water that contains iron powder of mesh 300. Molecules of high energy exist in the atmosphere compared with in the water. The energy of a chemical reaction in the membrane is obtained at the surface of water. Since a molecule in a gas state is independent, there are the molecules with high energy. The energy to cause a chemical reaction is provided from the atmosphere by the collision with the surface of the water. The bubble does not burst, even shake violently, but it is easy to break by stopping the shaking. The lifespan of material with intermolecular bond is prolonged by the metabolism. Two bubbles combine to one during one frame interval of video. The frame interval of video is 33 milliseconds. Since the bubble is an organization with the intermolecular force that is able to exchange the neighboring atom, it does not destroy even if it is deformed. The phenomena that disappears within one frame interval will not be recognized by naked eyes. The molecular arrangement strengthens intermolecular bonds in the membrane of a bubble. The molecular arrangement of almost all of the membrane will decompose when it fails to repair at collapse of the bubble. The powder of iron that attaches on the surface of the membrane of the bubble of carbon dioxide slips down. The iron powder is able to shift the adsorbed position of the membrane owing to the intermolecular force. Carbon dioxide and the iron generate iron oxide, and the iron oxide will be precipitated. As the result, carbon atom remains and it will form a robust membranes. There is organizational thermal motion of the water molecules. Since intermolecular force of liquid water is strong, it will form clustered water molecules. So, we can see thermal motions of clusters of water. Thermal motion of water on ice can be seen when the ice melts. Since the cluster of water moves quickly, it looks as a flickering noise to the naked eyes. Following pictures shows differences of frame by frame in movies captured at 30 frames per second. The movie shows thermal motion of diluted milk with water. The rate of magnification on the image is 1920 times. The frame rate of the photographing was changed. The video of 8 seconds in the first half was shot at 30 frames per second. The video of 8 seconds playing the second half was shot at 120 frames per second. This video was captured by digital camera using microscope through a cover glass. Movements of flickering are the thermal motion of the cluster of water. The following video shows the thermal motion of diluted milk by high magnification. That is, objective lens of 40 times, eyepiece lens of 20 times, a digital camera of optical magnification of 5 times. The thermal motion of fine particles can be observed. It will be recognized as a movement when the position of a fine particle changes a little at the next picture. But a large change of the position will be recognized as a noise of flicker. The mechanism of metabolism is as follows. Thermal motion of the molecules in liquid replaces the neighboring atoms. It is involved in metabolism. The thermal motion of adsorbed molecules decreases, and the decomposition is suppressed. Results of the reaction cause the next reaction. So chain reaction will occur. The organism was born by a network of chain reactions via intermolecular coupling. Digestive activity of anaerobic bacteria in sewage tank depends on the thermal motion of molecules. Each image of this video was captured at 1-minute interval with 200 times of magnification. The playback of 1 minute is equivalent to over 30 hours. Anaerobic bacteria proliferate by digestive activities under ultraviolet light. It does not move violently by itself. Aerobic organisms lives in activated sludge of sewage, where air is mixed into sludge, in order to be absorbed into activated sludge. Movement in the body of this animal induces the idea that the moving constituents in the body were swallowed. As for summary, the metabolism generates the organization of molecules. The organization survives by using intermolecular coupling and thermal motion. It has the ability to reproduce. Since the chain reactions will link via the intermolecular coupling, a network of chain reaction can be formed. Thank you for your attention.